Hi guys, this is SDJRSNF88 speaking with, as you could probably guess, a review. Now, I haven't done one for a while, but today is quite a special day. As some of you may know, it's my birthday, being September the 25th. So, what better time to do one? And basically, this is a new item, and well, as you probably guessed from the title, it is the new Bachmann 4F. Now, this one is the early one, as you can probably see there. This is the British Rail, this is the code 31881, Bachmann class 4F 060-43875 in BR black early emblem livery. Now, the reason why I purchased this precise 4F, as there are 3 common ones being made and 1 Collectors Club one. Now, the Collectors Club one is obviously out of reach because I'm not part of the Bachmann Collectors Club. But the other 3 ones are just the common ones on the market. But the reason why I chose the early emblem British Railways one with the Johnson tender is because number 43875 is a Somerset and Dorset number, and apparently this is the condition she was in when she was stabled at Bath Green Park. So, being a Somerset and Dorset loco and a Somerset and Dorset fan, I just had to get her. But anyway, just looking in that box, and you can see what a smart loco she is. Now, if I flip it over, we got all the little history about the loco. If you can get about there, I'm not sure if you'll be able to read it, but if you could pause it and read it if you like. But I'm not sure if you'll it'll pick it up. But there are. It basically just explains about the history of the class, as it does with all Bachmann engines on the back of the box. Basically saying that this is the Midland 4F, which is the earliest of the designs. This one is a right-hand drive, which is I believe is the first lot. I think this is these were built with left-hand drives, whereas the Midlands obtained its original right. Yeah, I think this is the a right-hand drive version, which is the early version, and then the later versions were built as left-hands. Correct me if I'm wrong. I might have got that round the wrong way, but anyway. And at the bottom here, which I find quite interesting, is that it says that in total, to pre-grouping, 192 locomotives entered Midland Railway service, with a further 5 being built for the Somerset and Dorset Joint Railway. Now, I'm not sure if this one is the one that was built for the Somerset and Dorset Joint Railway. I know that the one that Bachmann are making for their Collectors Club, which is a Persian blue one in S&D livery, is one of the batch, but I got a funny feeling this might be one of the batch in its British Railways livery, but don't hold me to that, because I know that the batch built for the Somerset and Dorset did have the Johnson tender, which this one does. But brilliant model, as you can see. It is a really good reasonable price of £76.50. And as with most Bachmann models, it is just stunning. If I just get her out the slider out in her ice cube packaging. As you know, this is a common Bachmann packaging now. We got all the instructions and the warranty, but obviously many people know what that is, so we're not going to go through that. But anyway, here's the model. Sorry, just going to stand up here so it's easier to get close to the camera. But as you can see quite a bit of detail through there. That's just in the ice cube packaging. There is quite a bit spare, but that's because Bachmann make a standard box, and obviously it's a smaller engine, but it's too big to fit in the small box, so they have to make it fit in the large box. On top, we've got a lot of detailing accessories. Now, I presume that big bit of plastic in there, that is for a sound speaker, if you want to put sound in it. There's also some screws in there for attaching it. You can also see some tools for the crew, which will sit on top of the tender. There's also what looks like, there's a 3-link coupling in there. There's some cab doors. There's another one under the, there's the other one there, cab doors. And I'm not sure if you can see it, but there's a tool item in it. There it is. There. That long one, which looks like a screw, you can see it just sliding under the thing, is actually the pipes which go on the tender, on top of the tender. I'll show you the holes later when she's on the track. But basically you attach those, and that's for the the water scoop. That's the tubes that go on top of the tender for if it had a water trough pickup on the bottom of it, which it does. Sadly, well, before we unbox her, I just got a bit. I'm going to go to another little cutscene sort of thing of her upside down, showing you the underside of the loco, which is quite stunning. But at the same time, I've had a bit of a problem with this engine. The past few engines from Bachmann, I've had faults with. One of the engines, which I'm not going to mention the type, but I mentioned it in my Compton Martin update about 3 months ago now, saying that I was going to review it. Well, I put it on the track to review it, and it was a non-runner, so it went back to the factory. Bachmann repaired it, but it came back with another fault, so it's been sent off again, and I have not received that engine back yet. So anyway, I bought this one at the Swindon Railway Festival, but yeah, for this price sort of thing, as a present for my birthday sort of thing. And sadly, this one does have a fault as well. One of the pickups, the pickup on this wheel here, as I will show you in a minute, was not fitted correctly. So I had to fit it correctly myself. But yeah. But anyway, onto the bit where I'll show you the underside of the engine. Right, as you can see, I have rolled her over, and you can see the pickups. These are the front two axles, and then here's the rear axle. Now that one there was not connected to the wheel. Well, it was it's connected to all the electrics, but it wasn't in the correct place. It was bent to the right, sort of thing, and it was touching the spokes on the wheel. But as you can see, I've gently moved it back to its correct. Well, moved it to its correct position, which is touching the tire of the wheel, which is the metal bit around the outside where it picks up the picks up the electricity off the track, rather than brushing against the spokes on the wheel. But this is also a good opportunity while the engine's on its top sort of thing, is to see that it also has tender pickups. You can also see there's the DCC socket. So if you want to uncouple it, it comes in the box already coupled. But if you want to separate it, you have to take that plug out. And as you can see, it's also got the pickups on the tender. Another thing I've noticed, it also has the brake rodding all pre-fitted. So yeah, very interesting. But that's the little pain I was talking about, the pickup. But oh well, it seems to be running well, although it runs a bit loud, a bit noisy. Not sure what that is, but it's one of the noisiest engines I've got, which is a bit odd. But well, we'll have to see what happens. But anyway, let's get her on the track. Here she is on the layout, and as you can see, she looks superb. I mean, just from this little shot here, I'm just resting it on the layout to the camera. Well, the camera on the layout basically, and you can clearly see quite a lot of the detail from there, sort of thing. I mean, the front of it just looks stunning. I mean, they really have done well capturing the overall look of these workhorses, and these engines really were workhorses. I mean, if you think of an LMS freight loco, I guarantee, well for me anyway, I guarantee that this is in the top 3 if that come to mind first, along with the 8F. But 4F really springs to mind, sort of thing, for freight locos. Anyway, let's get a bit of a closer look at her. Start with the smokebox door. I mean, just look at that. I just love the Fowler styled smokebox doors. It's the same on the 7F, the Ginty, the 3F, and so on and so forth. Basically, really any of the Fowler designs. But as you know, they don't have smokebox darts. They just have the clips around the outside. And I mean, it really just gives that. I just love the look of those smokebox doors. Underneath the smokebox doors, you can actually see the cylinder heads, because it is an inside cylinder loco, obviously. Really well captured. I mean, get a bit of a better view from the side. There. We've also got the buffer beam. Lots and lots of detail on there for the rivets. Also, you got the little hole there for fitting the Ching Link coupling. The vacuum pipe is pre-fitted. It's quite a standing out feature on the model, as these were also pre-fitted. I think on my Hornby one. I'm not sure. I have to double check, but when I look at the 4F sort of thing from the front, it's one of those little features that you would know if it was missing, sort of thing. But no, the Bachmann have done a really good job in attaching that, pre-attaching that to the buffer beam, which is really good. Obviously we've got the NEM pocket on the front. Then we move on to the side and look at the detail on that running plate and the side of the smoke box. Now the running plate for the loco is what Bachmann have been doing on quite a lot of their models recently, is die cast. It adds most of the weight for the loco. I mean, it is amazing that they added all the little rivet details to this bit of metal. And I must admit, using these metal running plates is much better than using plastic ones. Unlike Hornby, because that way you have to stuff the models with weight. But actually making part of the model itself out of metal, this die cast, is a very good idea, really. Because that way you could save space for adding detail like that. As you can see, as I mentioned earlier on with the cylinders, it is inside drive loco, so obviously there has to be some inside valve gear or linkage. Now, obviously, it's just moulded the top of it, basically. That you can't, if you look down, you can't see anything. But that is, well, I mean, it's just stunning, really, because obviously you ain't going to be able to see the inner workings of they wouldn't be able to get the linkage working. That would just be silly. Well, what would be silly? It'd be amazing, but I think the price of the loco would be a lot more, and also they wouldn't be able to put the gears to run all the wheels in there. But no, they've done a really good job in capturing that. I don't think they have it on the 3F, Johnson 3F, which was made about a year ago now, nearly, and they haven't added that to that. I know they haven't got it on the 7Fs, but no, that's a new feature they've added to this model so far, and I think it's really good. Got some of the pipe work on the side. They got the step. I mean, just look at the wheels on that. I mean, it is just so well captured. I mean, this is what I love about the Bachmann actually deciding to make this model. Is, it's just a workhorse, and obviously it's great to have a workhorse on the layout sort of thing. Nothing over the top exciting like an A4 Pacific or anything. Just an average day engine sort of thing. Now, one little feature about this model which separates it from the other four that are being made by Bachmann is the chimney. Now, I'm not sure if there's Somerset and Dorset blue version which they've announced for their collectors club has it, but this funnel, if you compare it to the other two standard range models, which is the LMS one and the Preserve one, this one has a taller funnel, taller chimney, which was a feature on the real locomotive, or this for 43875. But yeah, it's quite a nice little feature, so it makes it a bit different, sort of thing, and very nice engine. See the handrails on there? I mean, just look at the detail they added to the firebox. I mean, it almost looks like you could those bolts in there. I think you could they're bolts on the real engine. You could really tighten them up, sort of thing, because it's just so well captured. And on the top, holding the camera at a bit weird angle, but let's see if I can zoom in. It'll probably go out of focus. But there you are. We've got the safety valve and whistle. I mean, look at the detail on that whistle. I mean, that's actually the first time I've actually had to have a proper closer look at that whistle, sort of thing, with this zoom on the camera. But yeah, it's amazing. Then we move on to the cab. Obviously, the number 43875, beautifully captured. Sorry, as is the same with the number on the smoke box and the shed plate number. Then we move on to the. Sorry about that. I think the postman's turned up. Anyway, move on to the cab. Now this is totally stunning. Now I can't lean any closer. Yeah, because I am actually right by Compton Martin. I don't want to stand on Compton Martin, so I'm gonna have to try to hover the camera here and hope it focuses. And there we go. It's being good today. And there it is. Look at the cab detail in there. This is, I think so far, people have been commenting on websites and reviews and stuff, saying this is Bachmann's best cab detail so far. I mean, just look at that. I do apologise for the dog. Anyway, just look at that. There, we've got the firebox there. Firebox door. I think it's open. I'm not sure, but I think it's like it's like the flap design one, the one that goes to the floor, I think, and I think they've got it open, which is pretty cool. Now, yeah, sorry making all this groaning and stuff. I'm just literally, it's like playing a game of Twister, holding onto the board, trying not to fall over Compton Martin. There we are. Move on to the tender. Now, obviously, the Fowler 4F is famous for having the Fowler tender, but some of the members, as you know, received the Johnson tender. And this is the Johnson tender, same as the one which is attached to the 3F, which I reviewed, which is #1 classic car fans, which was weathered by Pete Waterman's friend. Basically the same tender, although this one is slightly different, as in there are a few little features which have been changed on this variant for the 4F. Now, I'm not sure if you can see it, but underneath there, I think, I'll just let me check, sorry for hovering the camera about. It will be in between the rear wheel. Yes, there is, in between the two rear wheels. So you can just about see it there. That is the water scoop for the engine, and basically, you know, for picking up water for troughs on long runs. And there should be some sort of little pipes that come out the top, and they are in the accessory bag as I showed you earlier. And but there, they slot into those little holes on top of the coal. Now the coal does look a bit plasticky, but then again, you could easily replace that. So that's why I presume that's the reason why Bachmann have it pre-fitted the tubes, because it would have been nice to have the tubes pre-fitted. But then again, most people like to replace this plasticky coal, and so I'm presuming if they put the pipes in the coal, then people would have to dismantle the pipes or cut the pipes off of the coal to you know, put it all in with their with the new coal load, which wouldn't be very, very good. So there's a little bracket on the front there. That is designed for holding the tools, which are also in the little tool pack, which is on top of the engine. And yeah, so you can rest them along basically along the tender like they would have done for cleaning out the firebox at the end of the day and stuff. The shovel and everything. Move on to the back of the engine. And again, we got some more beautiful detailing work in the form. It's not going into focus. Sorry, let me adjust this. Very sorry about that. There was focusing problem again, as always in the reviews. And now I think you could just about see it. But there's the again the tender, how much water the tender could hold, and the builder's plate. And then we've got the same beautiful amount of detail as on the front buffer beam on the tender. But yeah, it's been overall really, really well captured. It's gone out of focus again. And there we go. But yeah, sorry about the dog. He gets a bit nervous when postmen appear anyway. But anyway, let's see her running now. Now I have ran her in, but I've ran her in for about an hour, but she hasn't hauled a train yet. But I'll just let her do a few laps on her own, just to show you her running qualities before we hook her up. Now this is on DC, remember, as I haven't gone DCC yet. But let's slowly get her going. There we are. She's still a bit noisy, obviously because she's only been ran in for an hour. But yeah, she could do a really, really slow crawl. Still a tiny bit juddery, but then again, what do you expect? Just out of the box. And also I had to realign that pickup, as I mentioned earlier on, for the rear wheel. But yeah, about that pickup, you could see it through, basically see the rear spokes on the rear wheel. You can see it, you can just about see the tiny bit of brass at the bottom there, but sticking out. But that's what it's like on all the wheels, basically, that tiny little bit of brass sticking out the bottom. But the reason why I had to realign it is because literally it was halfway across the wheel. You could see the whole pickup through the spokes, which is, of course, quite bad. So I realigned it and put it into its correct position. Well, just about the correct position. I'm going to make sure later on. But so it will actually pick up electricity from the wheel, because what I was just doing was just tapping away on the spokes, which is a bit pointless. But anyway, as you can see, she goes quite smoothly. I'll just turn her up a bit more now. Get her a nice cruising speed. Here we go. And there we go. Although there's nothing really exciting about not like the 7Fs or anything with the lots of linkage on the outside, or the 3MT, sorry, with all the linkage going about on the outside, but still, it is hypnotic watching it, especially when you can see right underneath the boiler and you can see the spokes and the rod going around on the other side. It's just amazing. You can see, as you can probably hear, she's a bit of a noisy runner, and you notice she's a bit quieter when she goes around the corners. That's probably because of that pickup I had to realign. So you can hear she's making like sort of like a little hissing noise as she goes along up here, which I presume is the pickup. But when she goes around the corner, which is the opposite side to the pickup, obviously the pickup must move away from the wheel, and it goes a bit quieter. But still, if you can zoom in, you just about to see the cab detail there. Whoops. But no, superb loco. But I'm really am glad Bachmann made them, as the Hornby ones, although they were recently redone, were getting on a bit. I mean, no offence to the Hornby ones, I mean I have a tender drive one and it doesn't look half bad considering its age. But then again, my one is a tender drive, and also the one when they redid it with the motor, it with a new loco drive, I just thought they might have redone the whole engine, but Bachmann have obviously seized the opportunity and they have done a superb job of it. Anyway, on to the scores. I'm going to do a little score for this one. I'm going to break it down into sections, as there are a few sections that as you know, I have a little niggle in pain with the engine. But then again, I'm sure it's still a stunning model. I am very pleased with it, but sort of thing. But I'm sure it's just my one that had the little faults with it. But there we go. So anyway, let's on to the scores. Packaging, 9 out of 10. Because there was a little tiny bit of sticky residue inside the box, but luckily it was in between the tender and cab, and that could easily be wiped off, sort of thing. So no problem there. So 9 out of that for the box. Overall look of the loco, that includes livery, 10 out of 10. I mean, just look at it. It's just an amazing loco. Sorry, it's been zoomed in quite a lot there, but anyway. There you go. But yeah, overall look at the loco, I mean 10 out of 10. Running of the loco? No, sorry, build quality of the loco. Yeah, being made in the factory. I'm going to have to give that a bit of a lower score. That's going to be a score due to the little fault I found. That'd be 8 out of 10. Running quality? 9 out of 10. That is again because of the building fault sort of thing that I had to correct, and it's making that bit of that noise. And the bit of noise the noise it is making, but then again I suppose it will calm down, so 9.5 for running. So what do I give this engine overall? Well, I give it a really good high score of 9 out of 10. But honestly, you know, like I said, the faults that I have found are probably just with my version, sadly, but which is quite a common problem with me getting a few faults on my engines as of recently. I mean, the last engine I mentioned earlier on has a fault which hasn't been reviewed yet, 'cause it's still at the factory. But anyway, as you can see, amazing loco, and for just under 80 quid. I mean, it works out 30 quid cheaper than the Hornby variant, which is, you know, nowhere near the standard of this. I mean, I'd say it's really good value. So anyway, I'm going to end the video here, and I'm going to couple her up to a nice rake of freight wagons, as she was built for, hence the name 4F, for freight. And then I'll do a separate running video, and I'll have another Somerset Dorset engine running around the outside line, or in this case, 2 Somerset Dorset engines running around the outside line. So yeah, that'll be coming soon. So anyway, this has been SDJR7F88 speaking, and thanks for watching.